Hey, hi, hello, friend. So today our guest is EmbryAnne. Embry is a polyamory-friendly sex and deconstruction coach, and in her spare time, she is a phone sex operator. She was suggested to us from a friend of Jess's, so she was new to both of us. We immediately jumped into the conversation talking about polyamory, sex work, the crossover between them, and so much more. We hope you enjoy listening to this conversation as much as we had having it. Welcome to Season 7 of the Queer Consciousness Podcast. I'm Kit Sargent, and my pronouns are they, them.
And I'm Jess Grace Garcia, and my pronouns are they, them. We're just humans wanting to share the lived experience of other humans.
This season, we're talking about all things sex. We want to have deep, heart-led conversations as we unpack what sex means to us and why it's so important to talk about it.
This is a season of unlearning, relearning, and sharing about a topic that is still considered taboo.
Because at the end of the day, we are all spiritual, sexual beings having a human experience, walking each other home. EmbryAnne, welcome to Queer Consciousness.
Thank you.
I'm really excited to have you.
I know. I was just about to say that. I was like, this is going to be such a great conversation, mainly because it has been months in the works trying to get our schedules matched up so that we can actually have this conversation.
Truly.
Problem with 3 people trying to schedule.
I mean, at least it's only 2 different time zones, I think, in this scenario.
Maybe?
You're where? What
Texas,
time zone?
Okay,
Central.
so you're still central, yeah. There's only 2 time zones. When we
Okay.
have 3, that's a problem.
Especially when one of them's in like Europe or something.
Yeah. Then we're like, oh, this is going to be one of those, we're either going to be going very late into the evening or incredibly early in the morning. And hopefully our brains are working at that point.
That's when the slapstick stuff happens. And you're like, I get slap happy in those moments.
Yeah, and then our 14-year-old boys about sex jokes really come out so strong because we're like, we cannot keep ourselves straight at this point. Not that we ever could, but it's even worse when we're in that slap happy moment of, hey, I don't know what time it is. What are we doing?
Truly. Yeah. And I don't. One time I was driving down the road and my mother-in-law was like, go straight. And I said, I don't know how to do that, Sheila. I don't know what you're talking about. And she said, fine, go queerly forward, go. I said, okay, I like that. I will go queerly forward anywhere.
Absolutely.
What's the weather like in Texas? I'm just curious. Right now.
Right now, it is 78 degrees and partly cloudy. So, not bad right now.
Now we got
good.
74 and mostly sunny.
I think mine's in the 60s. That's so weird that mine is like less, but it is kind of morning right now, so a little bit morning-ish.
You're mid-morning. You're like brunch time.
All right, shut up. I woke up an hour ago. Leave me alone.
And I have been up since 4 a.m. Central
yes.
time.
No.
I've been up for hours at this point. I am literally
we
towards
are
the
on
end
a
of my
very-
day right now.
We are on a very different schedule, so it's crazy that we're even friends sometimes, I think.
There have been multiple times where I will be just waking up as Jess is just going to bed, and they will text me, and I will immediately text them back, and I can swear that they're like, why are they awake right now?
Yeah.
And I'm like, buddy, I literally just woke up to start my day. You might be ending yours, but I am starting mine.
Tis true. What are you, Embry? Are you like a morning person? You and like what's your vibe?
Kind of more of a morning person. I have to be up at like 6:45 to get the kids out of the house and all that. So, yeah, I've been up a while.
That'll do it. So, we always start with this question, and it really launches us to maybe a 2-hour-long conversation. Who knows? I'm going to try to be the one that asks it this time, because normally Kit asks it. This will be the first time. What does sex mean to you, Embry?
That's a very good question. Now, I will say that actually listening to an episode of this podcast a couple nights ago on the way home from D&D made me realize that I need to like mentally adjust my answer to, when I first had sex, because I was operating under the evangelical purity culture model in that penis and vagina is the only kind of sex that counts. That's the only kind God sees or something. And so knowing that eventually I did marry this person, but I was 18 when we began being intimate in a variety of ways. And those, to me now, all qualify as sex. Intimacy in a variety of ways, maybe with or without clothing. But yes, opening up to a person and having that closeness.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I mean, that also isn't the only, it's evolved since I'm no longer 18. Shocker. Yes, I'm now 41, so constantly evolving and changing. But I would say I've had a lot of experiences in the online adult industry that has taught me that sex can be many different things. And many of those can be great and some of them can be weird. And there's just such scope for imagination.
Yes. It's interesting. The word weird was redefined for me really early on in my like relationship with my wife Erica. She called me weird right away, and I wasn't quite sure if that was like a compliment or if that was, stating something that was a little yellow flaggish. I didn't know. And she was like, no, weird is good. I like weird, And I was like, okay, cool. I'm weird. I can grapple with that. But it's quite funny when something happens that is outside of my imagination and I go, "Oh, that was weird." Maybe I'm the weird one for not knowing about it, Like maybe I'm the one that needs to like broaden my perspective, So now for me it's just that's fascinating. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Like, tell me more. That's really cool. I'm curious, are you still partnered with the person that you ended up marrying?
Yes,
Oh,
I
wow.
am. Yeah. It's interesting when you, I think
Wow,
when
at
you
this
get
point, you
married,
guys have been together longer than you haven't been.
yes, my marriage can vote and join the military, and drink. My marriage can drink, in America, not just Europe.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Important differential.
It is very important. Yeah, I think when you get with somebody that young, it's so important to know that you are still, like, hopefully you're not done growing
Yeah.
into whoever you are supposed to be.
Right.
Because if you are, that is concerning.
Mhm.
Like as a parent who has, a 19-year-old now, I hope they're not done with whoever they're going to be growing up, maturing. And that was something, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when we were still in the church, that my husband would say things like, you really don't seem like the person I married. And I'm thinking, I was 19. I really
Right.
hope that I am not quite still exactly the same as that was. But yeah, we've both done a lot of growing and changing.
I bet that's required a lot of patience on both of your parts.
Yes.
In different ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like I often say like I had, my first long-term relationship was from like 2021 until I was 25. And I think about that time frame and how much I grew and how much I changed, and I just can't imagine having stayed with her. Like I think it would have kept me frozen, or at least slowed down to a point that felt frozen in my growth. And I think the same is true for her. Like I think that we both needed to go separate directions in order for us to continue to grow.
Yeah.
And it's a rare opportunity to find someone that can grow with you,
Mhm.
you know? And I think it's really when you find friendships, when you find romantic relationships, partnerships, with people who will grow with you. I mean, like, that's an incredible find. And it's hard to find in your 20s. I think that when we're in our 30s, it's more likely to, or late 20s, we're more likely to find people who have done like several growth spurts and they're ready, you know. But yeah, that's especially in a romantic relationship, especially coming out of evangelicalism. Like, I'm guessing you both have done a hell of a lot of deconstruction, especially if you're in the, you know, adult industry. Like, that's wild.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about that?
Well, so in 2020, we were in Europe and there for my husband's job, and they took quarantine very seriously over there. So we were locked down and in our house for months on end. And we got to, you know, go out in the yard and things, and I got to go to the grocery store. But that was pretty much it. I had a lot of time to reflect. And I think one of the things that really kind of hit me was when George Floyd was murdered, right at the end of that school year. Because I remember my kids being in online classes and the teachers talking about it, and it was interesting. But when that happened, I started sort of examining kind of my relationship to what I knew about racial inequality in America. And I was homeschooled, so my history was not that's not totally solid. History, science, you know, whatever.
Did you have a Becca books?
At some point, I think possibly some
Same.
Abeka, probably some Abeka science.
Yes.
Quote,
Creationism.
unquote. Yes.
Hardcore. Just creationism.
Yes, that's all. You have to shout at the Magic School Bus and Bill Nye on TV. That,
Yes.
you know, thousands of years, not millions of years.
Correct.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Because the Bible told me so.
Clearly. So trying to kind of look at, okay, so my country's relationship with racial inequality, and then the churches, because the church should be at the forefront of, they got a direct line to God. They should be the ones really on top of it. They should have always been on the side of anti-slavery and so on and so forth. And learning, you know, slavery was used as or the Bible was used as justification for slavery. And all of that. I was like, well, that's interesting. And then how, okay, so it's not okay to have segregated churches and such nowadays, except now we treat gay people the way that we used to treat Black people to an extent. Like, you know, there's all these rules.
And disabled people and folks with
a whole
disease.
host of other people. Yeah, it's still kind of acceptable because some guy named Paul said so, or something, maybe. So I started looking at, you know, all of that, like who was Paul? Why do I care what he had to say? And it sort of all crumbled from there. It went downhill, and that led me to kind of questioning my own sexuality, and realized that I was not straight, and that.
What was one of the things that you were like thinking into your history and you were like, oh. What was one of those moments?
One of those moments, well, when I was like 19 and 20, and I would go out dancing with my fellow girlfriends, lady people, in Europe, and, you know, practicing kissing each other, even though we're all married. I was like, that was an interesting time. But then I was like, yeah, but that's fine because I'm married to a man, so it's okay. I'm not going to hell. Somehow, you know, was the justification for that.
I love that logic, mainly because I can totally see how that logic works, especially as like a very closeted queer kid that you do not understand that you are queer. But you're like, you know, I am only gay when I am in the club
Mhm.
with all of my friends.
Yeah.
Who just happen to be absolutely stunningly beautiful women.
Yeah.
And we are practicing kissing.
Uh-huh.
So that we can go home to our husbands.
And be better wives.
And be
Yes,
better
For
wives.
Jesus.
Yep. Mine was I can't get pregnant. I can't be near boys or near penis because that will get me pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And so for Jesus, I will go in this direction a little bit. So
It's
it was the opposite.
noble goal.
The
Yes.
noble cause of
Yes.
not having the protruding appendage
Yes.
being the being the offensive thing.
Mhm, mhm.
Yes. Yeah. That makes sense.
Just other protruding appendages. I was a little obsessed with. Anyway, let's go back to your story. So
Yeah.
so that was a moment where you look back and you said, okay, yeah, that was
Yeah.
gay. That was gay as fuck.
I think that was kind of gay. Yeah. I think that was kind of gay. Yeah, it's weird. And then
Are you the only one? Are you the only one that's come out in that group?
In that group now I know that one of the ladies was like a swinger and I didn't know.
Okay.
I love that.
So
Which is very different from non-monogamy. We will have you know this.
It's true. Well, it's a kind of non-monogamy, but it's
It
like
is.
the
It's under the
redheaded
umbrella.
stepchild of non-monogamy.
Yeah, it's what everyone
that, yeah.
thinks of. It's what
Yeah.
everyone goes to. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's
the
what
upside down pineapple outside the front door and the big bowl of keys at the entrance. Yes.
I
Exactly.
always wondered why I like pineapples so much.
Weird.
It has nothing to do with the fact that you're Mexican?
Oh, maybe. I mean, yeah. Yes.
That's the reason. Because I have Mexican heritage. I love pineapple.
Yes.
That's the only reason.
I mean, it is delicious. Who doesn't love pineapple? I mean, come on. Except for
is
people
good.
who are allergic and it burns them. Like,
yeah.
yes.
And then you're just like, you are so missing out on such a
I know,
good
it's
time.
like, I'm so sorry, friend. Embry, so I'm poly. I'm not sure if you social stalked me at all, but so I have two spouses.
Okay.
We had a wedding, or a commitment ceremony. As close as we could get to a wedding in
It was a
in
wedding.
November. It was a wedding for the three of us. And my wife Eric and I have been together 12 years. We were legally married in it'll be 10 years this coming October. And then Jana came into the picture about 5 years ago. So yeah, and we're in a closed relationship as of right now.
Okay.
So yeah, that's when you said there's many different ways of doing ethical non-monogamy, that is exactly like the way we're doing it is different than the way that most people do ethical non-monogamy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, I have grown so much in my understanding because I do a lot of poly coaching and like and sometimes pastoring depending on what hat I have on that day, because I am still in spiritual spaces.
Okay.
And yeah, just your normal trans queer poly pastor. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. No, I'm ordained. I mean, from the internet, but
Hey, it still counts. If you
It
can marry
counts.
somebody, it still counts.
I can.
I'm marrying someone in a month.
This is true.
You
are.
Also, so were there any other like little tidbits of moments maybe before you were 19 that like screamed at you, like when you were like kind of maybe a preteen or?
Yeah, so I vividly remember meeting the person who became my best friend, who I have since reconnected with, when we were 11. And like when I met them, I was just like, they looked exactly like somebody that was in a movie. I don't know if you've ever seen A Little Princess, the adaptation from like the late 90s. And
I
it
loved
was,
that movie when I was little.
I
for
think
some
her
reason.
name might have been Lavinia. She was the bad, like the mean girl. And this person looked exactly like them. And I was just like, I had to show them the movie. And I was like, and can I brush your hair? And so
That's adorable.
I So then we
that.
sat and we watched the
It's
movie.
like, I
and
want to be
brushed
near
their
you. I want to
hair.
spend time with you, and I want to touch you.
Yeah, and
also,
and
that is like the most neurodivergent thing ever.
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, because like touch was not a thing that was really very
Encouraged.
prevalent in
No.
my home and in their home, and yeah, so it's been really interesting reconnecting. But we met when we were 11, so
Hmm.
yeah.
That's cute. Yeah,
Yeah, so-
I was gay since it popped out. I mean, like it's
Mm.
been there's so many examples of things that were so, and I say gay very loosely, like I just mean like I was clearly outside of straight. Like I was pan. I always had a boy and a girl crush at the same time.
Mm.
And depending on who was asking, up until about the age of maybe like, I think my first time feeling shame for doing queer things was like first grade. I ended up the little girl in the neighborhood that of course had my same last name, Garcia, because it's the Smith of Mexicans.
Yes.
Yes. She was just like, she was so pretty. I mean, she was always, her hair was perfect. She was always wearing pretty dresses. And we had become, I was like, I'm gonna make that person my friend, you know? And I was funny and I was fun to be around, you know? And she
Jess.
True. She quickly made me like play the dad and made me play, you know, the husband or whatever the play game was. And we were just like playing on her like swing set in her backyard, and I'm pushing her, and the next thing I know, the next memory I have is we were kissing, just a cute kiss, and her mom walked out and kicked me out of her backyard, and I was never allowed to see her again. And what sucked was that her mom managed our like recess at the public school. And so she would watch how we were playing. And if we were anywhere near, we were allowed to be in groups together, but we weren't allowed to be like one-on-one. And that was when I realized, oh, I can't, or I shouldn't say that I have like a crush on a girl. I can say that I have a crush on Peter, and I can say that I have a crush on Jesus, but I cannot say that I have a crush on Amanda. And that's just the way that it is. And so then I would just kind of hold these like two crushes because they were the two people that I dreamed about, like whatever it was through. And then I'd always have just like an extra crush on someone from church or something.
Yeah,
You know,
like
just
an extra.
just a little
I had like
bonus.
a
For
list.
flavor.
Yeah,
For
I had just like
flavor.
a list because yeah.
Wow, Jess, you were the first roster maker? Good Lord.
Hey.
You've had Riz. Am I using this correctly? You've had Riz since you were a child.
I don't know. Do we have any Gen Z people listening? If we
I
do, they
don't
can help
know,
us.
but-
Embry, ask your teens.
I
They're
will
Gen
ask
Alpha.
them. Yes, I will ask the children. They
Yeah,
will tell
yeah.
me
The
that I'm
youths.
old. The youths, yes, they will tell me I'm old. But yes,
Like, Mom, you know, like,
yeah,
How many times do we have to tell you that's not how you use the word?
yeah, yeah. One day I did say to my son, "Oh wow, no, that's not going to work. We're cooked, chat." And he looked at me. He was like, "Don't ever say that."
that just doesn't sound right coming from you.
It's so funny when we like say stuff, and I know this is a bit of a tangent, but it's so funny when you will hear somebody like our ages, because we're all in our late 30s, early 40s, and we will try and use the slang of the youths today, and they just like immediately cringe, and we're just sitting there with like the biggest shit-eating grins on our faces because it's like we don't care.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
transcended. I've ruined
I
6, 7
remember
for my
when our-
children.
I remember when our parents transcend. Like, I remember when the older
Uh-huh.
people in our lives that were trying to be cool were like, they weren't trying to be cool. They were just fucking with us.
Yeah,
And I
the whole
love-
time.
love knowing that now. I'm like,
Yeah,
I look back, I'm like, oh yeah, you were great. You were great. You gave me such a hard time. So now that you have, you know, teenagers or 19-year-old or whatever, like, are you knowing like, okay, that was when like I started really realizing like that I was entering into, how does that like shape like the way that you interact with them?
It is very different. Like, trying to be a sex positive or sex neutral
Yes.
parent and to not be body shamey and all that kind of stuff, like being if not body positive then body neutral, and all of these things, just trying to be aware that these are things that may echo in their head for decades, even though it seems like they do not hear me when I say regular things at all. But some of these things, do have the ability to stick. So,
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, there are things that I look back on now that I go, like, that was formative. That was formative for a neutral, positive, or negative reason.
Yeah.
It was formative. And I think, like, it's absolutely important to say those things because you just don't know when it will pop up in their brain. They could be in a situation where they don't feel like they're giving consent, or they've said, like, hey, can we slow down? Can we stop? Or someone else is saying that to them. And they're realizing, like, oh, wait, I'm remembering something.
Yeah. Yeah. Being very big on that. And that you can change your mind at any time, even with things as simple as, like, okay, well, the cat said no. You can tell now that she was fine with you petting her before.
Yes.
But you can see in her face and the fact that she just swatted you that she now says no. And that
Cats
is what
are
it
a
is.
great lesson for that.
They are.
I think that the reason why queer people love cats is because we do have an understanding around consent. Yeah. Like, there's like it's not to say we love dogs too. Like, we love all animals. But I think the fact that we're not shaming people for liking cats, like, it's such a weird thing to hear someone say, like, I don't like cats. It's actually a red flag to me. Because I'm like, do you not like cats because you're allergic to them? That's one thing. Like, that's one thing. Or do you not like cats because you had a traumatic experience with cats growing up?
Yeah, that's my sister.
Yeah, that's my mom.
My sister as well had like a bad experience, but she still loves all animals. She just knows she can't have one in the home.
Yeah.
And she's like, I just, in general, I'm like, what is your reasoning, right, for not liking cats? If it's just, I just don't like cats, I'm like, oh, your yellow flag is turning into a red flag. Like, I'm curious to hear more about how you interact in your relationships. If you're listening, if you honor space when they need it, I am the golden retriever of this house. Both of my spouses are cats. We have all of our babies are cats, and they all can sometimes get overstimulated by this golden retriever. But I've learned a lot. I think that maybe I've morphed into just a ginger cat. Like, because in some ways, like, I'm not crossing those boundaries. I'm not desperate, like, in the way that will cross your boundaries because I need touch. Like, I will express my need, but then I will go, if find, like, someone to meet that need. It doesn't have to be, these two people or these cats. You know what I mean? And that's no shame to golden retrievers. It's just an easy way to explain how I have grown and shifted because of those people and their incredible boundaries. And I've learned my own in ways that I wasn't aware I could take it away. Like, hey, I don't want this form of a relationship anymore. Like, this way of interacting is not fun for me anymore. I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah. My youngest son, he likes to roughhouse with my husband, on his own terms, but he always had the habit of yelling, no, no, stop. And my husband was like, do you mean no, stop? Or do you want me to continue? So, okay, I want you to say sheep. In the future, if you actually want me to stop, say sheep. And so now he'll just be yelling sheep, sheep, which is fine. And that means stop. I'm done. And that's a fine thing to be. That's totally good.
Safe words are important in all contexts. Like, I love using consent language and using even some, like, kind of jokingly, like, using kink language in normal language.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm explaining, I very comfortably will say to someone, like, yeah, my wife is a bratty sub. And they're like, I thought you said she was ace. I'm like, first of all, she's gray ace. But yeah, she's just the brattiest sub in all of her interactions because she's not getting that in a regular sexual encounter. That's just who she is. That's literally her personality is to be playful and bratty when she's really comfortable with you. If she's super comfy with you and like you are someone that makes her feel safe, she will be playful like that with you. And that's a compliment. You know? And people are like, oh, I never thought about it that way. And I'm like, oh my God, so helpful. So helpful to know. It's like knowing someone's Enneagram or someone's astrological like sign.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, what are you a switch? Are you verse? Are you like, are you sub? Are you dom? Are you like, what are the things that explain these ways of like you exist in the world? Because I was watching something last night and the person was like really dominant in all of their career and they were still building up this relationship that was happening. And I was like, I'm really curious about when they have sex, what that's going to look like. Like, is she going to be dom in the bedroom or is she just going to be like a power bottom or is she just going to be like super subby? Like, okay, take me. I'm done ruling the world.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Welcome to my lovely abode, patreon.com/queerconsciousness-podcast. Come on in. I'll show you around. So, as you can see here in the entry, we have the community support tier. It's only $5 a month, and you get a blog from Kit after every conversation, as well as a Patreon-exclusive chat that Kit, Jess, and the guest have after the main conversation. And if you look over here at this wonderful painting, you'll see that your monthly contribution helps pay for all the things that keep the podcast running. Now, follow me into the producer tier. In here, you'll see that this tier pays for Jess and their professional level quality work that they put into the podcast to make us sound as great as we do. At just $10 a month, you get a shout out in the episode, like Mackenzie and Christina. Once we hit 10 patrons, we'll have a monthly hangout for everyone starting at the community support tier. Now, let's go check out the patron tier. This is $25 a month, and it is an investment into the podcast. It'll help Kit and Jess keep the podcast going while also being able to support the queer community at large. There are a few special perks for this tier, so be sure to go and check out the Patreon for all the details. Thanks so much for checking out patreon.com/queerconsciousnesspodcast. I have to go feed my cats now. Bye.
Hey, listeners of Queer Consciousness. Clearly, you have excellent taste, so we wanted to introduce ourselves. My name is Elise, they, them.
I'm Carrie, she, they, and together we created our podcast Proudly on Record to give a platform to queer stories as an act of resistance.
We would love to invite you to join our conversations with queer folks exploring the long-term effects of religious trauma, journeys of deconstruction, and the joy that comes from living life as your true, authentic self.
Lately, we've spoken with conversion therapy survivors, explored the sapphic drag queen scene, asked ex-Mormons how they survived without caffeine, and interrogated mental health experts on why. Just why?
So, if you've ever felt entitled to monetary compensation due to your religious trauma, or have ever wanted to waltz with potatoes up and down the produce aisle, have we got a show for you.
You can find Proudly on Record on all streaming platforms.
Now, back to our favorite theys, Jess and Kit.
Did you said 6 years ago you kind of started like this deconstruction. Do you feel like you've like grown like an immense amount in the last 6 years?
Yes, I feel like I've lived a whole other life or something since then. Exploring polyamory, and then online sex work, and then I went to grad school. Most men won't talk to a mental health provider, but they will call a phone sex operator. And
It's
so
true.
I got my master's in counseling.
Wow.
And not to necessarily, sneak it in there, but just
Sometimes it's helpful.
yeah. If anything, to protect my own boundaries and mental health.
Yeah.
When engaging in that kind of work.
Yeah. No, that's It's so real. And like, I found that, like, I've been on the fence for a very long time about going back to school to become a therapist, a sex therapist. And I like the flexibility I have as like a sex and relationship coach. But I'm always educating myself.
Yeah.
Always educate, and I'm surrounded by people with the masters or the doctorate. And so whenever I hit kind of a wall with a client or with, you know, myself, I'm just like, hey guys, curious. like
Yeah.
How would you handle this? But tell I would love to hear more about that, maybe transition into polyamory, how that was for you guys are still together. So how that was for your marriage, and then sex work is another big leap. So if you don't mind talking about that, I would love that.
Yeah. We started talking about polyamory, or just the idea of it, because of like TikTok and social media. Because I didn't have language for it before that. And I know that I think I had told my husband this at some point, that I remember distinctly before we got married, just having that sadness that I would never be able to have that, like that new relationship kind of experience of getting to know somebody and all that sort of thing again. And then getting to like now engage with that in some ways has been really nice. My husband's always on me for using the word nice, but I can if I want. So he's not here to say so.
That's true.
Yeah. So no, it's been good. And we've kind of explored it in different ways. Sort of a triad situation at one point, that kind of just happened. And
it's nice, so it's more organic.
It is. It wasn't even on an app or anything. It was just somebody wanted to hang out and ended up having a lot of conversations. And yeah. So, and that person, we're not still like in that kind of relationship with her, but we're still in contact. Sometimes we, go to Renaissance fairs, of course.
The most poly place ever. Hell
yes,
yeah.
Basically. I mean, that and Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah. Pretty much. So, yeah, it has been good. And so having the experience to kind of date women or non-binary people or other men, just kind of exploring. My husband would probably say he feels I date too many men. It's not often, and really it feels like more of them are on the internet than actual real people. Internet people are real too, but
no, it's different. But it's a different sort of vulnerability.
It is. And then the ones on the internet are usually clients, and so
exactly,
I get to engage with them in a very different way. And there's so many different varieties of things that I would never have thought to explore, never had thought that I could enjoy, and some that I just find amusing, but I respect that the other person enjoys it, and for, $8.99 a minute, then I'm cool with that. I can do that for you.
What was that transition like into, like, did someone say, hey, this could be something you could do, and, it'd be a nice stream of income, or did you just like trip and fall into it? Like, how did sex work become a part of your
It was sort
life?
of a convergence. I had been a trad wife before it was cool. Like there wasn't a name for it before. So I was a trad wife, or had a trad wife era. And coming out of that in 2020, realizing that I wanted to get a job outside the home, and all my kids were going to be in school once we moved to America. And so I got a job with the government initially, and it was incredibly stressful in sort of a family services kind of aspect. And that was way too much. So I was there for 6 months, and then I just had to quit. And then I got a job waiting tables, just for something very low risk. And, it's not impacting anybody's lives if I serve them the wrong burger or whatever.
Yeah,
and
most of the time. Most of the time.
Like, hopefully, unless someone's allergic. Otherwise, really, it's okay.
Yeah.
So I did that for a bit, and I had connected with somebody who had like expressed that they wanted to explore polyamory, but their spouse wasn't. And like, I get that, but also, and he was talking about was alone in a hotel room on a work trip, and I was like, well, you can go explore ethical pornography, and so I kind of explained like individual creators, things like OnlyFans, and he was like, well, talking to you here in the text message just as a friend is better than that for me. And I was like, interesting. And at the same time, my husband had sent me a TikTok of a lady who was like a newly single, and she was so proud of herself that she had been able to purchase her own like washer and dryer because she had gotten on OnlyFans, and she had like put in a lot of work because it's not an easy button. It's marketing. Like the marketing is the biggest part of it. But she had put in the work and she had made money. And so I was like, you know what? Like if she could do it, she was like a, 35, 38-year-old lady like myself. And so I talked to my husband about it. He's like, yeah, I mean, nothing ever in person. Fair enough. And that was kind of the big boundary. And as long as you're comfortable with it online, safety tips like making an email address with a name that's not associated with your real name, using that email address for anything you sign up for, so on and so forth. And so I did that. And I explored a lot of different aspects of it, things like fan pages, live stream camming, phone sex operator, and then like clips and things, which can be done on different platforms.
Did you practice a different voice? Like, do you use a different voice when you get into character?
Not a lot. I think I use a lot of myself in it. There are times where I will get telemarketers, and I'll be like, "You've reached me on my phone sex hotline. You'll be charged $2.99 a minute if you stay on the line."
That
Oh
is
my God,
incredible.
That's so perfect. Yeah.
I love that. I'm gonna use that.
Hell yeah. It's pretty fun. As long as it's not like accidentally your mom or something that's called and from a strange number. But
That's fair.
It was just
If
a
it
joke.
was, I think she'd get the joke.
Yeah, it's just a joke.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
joke.
She'd be like, "Well, I'm a ghost anyway, so that works." But like, she's. But I think she'd find it funny.
Well, especially because she's like, at that point, any parent, any boomer parent, or even like Gen X parent is going to be like, oh yeah, no, we told you millennials to never answer the phone, so I understand why you are answering the phone like this.
Yeah.
Get it? Never mind. That's on us. That's our bad.
Just text me like a normal person.
For
Right,
growing
text me
up,
like a normal person.
right? Really, truly. For growing up, Evangelical had a pretty sex positive parent. So like it's kind of surprising, like she would make jokes that were a little bit, like spicy, and I'd be like, oh, but that's great. I love hearing that's an option now that I can do.
Yeah.
I've been told by many folks that like my voice is like really nice to listen to, and the only person that I gave a hard time about that to, my brother was like Jess, you have a good voice, right? You know, right? It's a really good voice. And I was like, yes, John, let's never talk about it again. Okay, it's weird. Let's just stop. And he's like trying to encourage me, and like it's funny because you're right, like pandemic did a number on us. Like we those of us that had been moving so fast, trying to survive, trying to keep up with the speed of things, were really just, there was the silver lining was that we all just had to stop and then look inside and say, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
And I feel like that just that aspect of watching so many folks figure out their queerness, figure out their like identity, decide that, like actually I'm not cis, I'm not, I'm not straight, whatever it was. And then seeing people find freedom, or also even relationships that either cemented better, like found that rhythm they needed with each other, or you know what, we've been in this a lot longer than we should have been.
Yeah.
And finding out they needed to part ways. But finding people find themselves is probably the best part. Like just and finding something that they are good at that supports their identity building is just awesome. And like, it doesn't mean that sex work is necessarily what you'll do forever, but like, I think especially for those that grew up in purity culture, it is a really powerful thing to do when it is our choice. And like, we have our own boundaries. We're the ones that are taking it back. I would say like a good portion, I would say at least a quarter of my like close friends are either in sex work now or have done sex work. And in ethical ways.
Yeah.
In ways that like that are really their own making.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful, awesome thing. And I think I'm around enough sex positivity now that it's very weird when someone either slut shames or goes about like trying to speak poorly of those in sex work. It's always like, whoa. Well, that was weird of you. Let's take a minute with that, actually.
In 2026? You have that kind of opinion in 2026?
Yeah. And normally it's because they have a bad view of themselves and their interaction with porn.
Yes. Yeah. I came across a reference to a study on like porn addiction recently. And the author was talking about that it did seem that like in those cases where it was negatively impacting people's lives, that they had a religious background and there was a lot of shame tied to any porn use. So then it had this negative reinforcing loop that I desire, I relapse, and then I hate myself because of my faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my friends, and I say that a little bit loosely just because we haven't caught up in a minute, but there's someone, Nicole, and I think her last name is Mitchell or Michelle. And she was a pastor, and now she does sex work. She was just on Soft White Underbelly, and and like talking about being, she was a pastor before, and now and then like similar path, like went into kind of figured out queerness, figured out polyamory, and then is now doing sex work. And some of that sex work is in person, and some of it is porn. And a lot of it is relationships, like relationships with a client. And she talks about like, having been paid like, getting $10,000 a month from one client, getting $5,000 cash from another, and yet she is so happy. Like, she looks younger than when I met her. At a queer conference. Like, she's and I remember seeing her, and she's a mom of three kids, and she's very open about all of this stuff. And like, it's really, I think she wasn't able to hold on to her marriage through all of the shifts and turns that have happened in the last like 7 years. So about the same amount of time. It's
weird.
And but like, to hear her talk, the way that she talks about like her own confidence and like what she's doing, and I'm just I like, she's very busy, or else, I mean, like, maybe I'll reach out and see if she'd be down to do this, but like, she's just one of those, like, I'm proud to see her in the limelight, because more people like that need to be, and we need to like realize like there are a lot of women and and non-binary folks who would be inspired to see an AFAB individual who's overcome all of those things, you know?
Yeah.
So like knowing that like that's just one person in a bucket full of a lot of folks. And I also think there's people who've been doing sex work on the side and not feeling like they can be honest about it in their friendships or with people in their lives. And it's like, I don't know, I'm curious for you, like besides your husband and like maybe a best friend, like do you feel like this is something that you can be honest about? I mean, you're on a podcast now, so I'm curious.
Yes. Yeah, so this isn't the first podcast I've been on specifically about sex work. And so oh wow, I forgot about that one. I've been on like maybe 3 under my work name, which is a different name. And this name is the one that I use for my like TikTok. I kind of ended up on TikTok for a couple of years doing like affiliate work and had a lot of fun with that.
Nice.
And so just a whole different account or a whole different focus there. But I will occasionally drop videos about like certain clients and things. I went viral a while back on my account with this name talking about CPAP content. And
Okay, tell us more.
and it went so viral that someone screen recorded my video on an account that is dedicated to CPAP usage, like for medical purposes.
Wow,
and then they
right?
posted it on Instagram and Facebook. And I had at least 5 or 6 different people direct message it to me and was like, "Is this you?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me. Just don't like comment my actual name, but yeah, that's me."
Yes. Yeah.
That is a very, very specific niche. And I've got probably maybe 10 different people that like to buy clips with that flavor. And these days I usually keep them like non-nude and cozy. Like the last one I did, I got done and I was like, I made like 90-second clip just wearing it, cuddled up with a blanket. And I was like, am I making healthcare porn? And I'm seeing myself as like Sarah Jessica Parker, and I reflect to myself, am I making? And so, yeah.
That is so odd. I love that I didn't know that existed, but it makes sense to me.
I was just about to say that. I was like, you wouldn't think it, but then also at the same time, you're like, you cannot yuck anyone's yum.
Yes. And it's so interesting. Like that phrase, apparently we've said it enough around the house that my daughter was at a birthday party with a bunch of other 11-year-olds. And they drove past a sushi place and someone was like, "Ooh, I want sushi." And the other kids are like, "Oh, sushi's gross." And she says, "Well, don't yuck anyone's yum." And the mom reached out to me and she was like, "Wow, that is so profound." I'm like, "Yeah, yep, it is."
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally. That's
very wise.
That doesn't come from anywhere specifically.
Nothing.
At all.
Don't even need to Google
Not at all.
it. It's probably fine.
Right? Yeah.
Can't look her in the eye. Just like, thank God you're texting me because I legit can't look you in the eye right now.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I mean,
That's so
just to your point earlier of having certain types of speech come into your everyday vernacular, like that is something that I have said for years and did not even realize what it meant until I started to do my own deep dive, and I was like, oh. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I was using it correctly. Go me. Context clues, they matter. Mm-hmm. And also the fact that like I just kind of went along with it, where it was like, yeah, don't yuck anyone's yum. Like so somebody likes mint chip with pickle juice. Like I'm not that. 2 very different flavor profiles that I would never put together and then put in my mouth. However, some people are like, I like the sweet and the sour. And I'm like, that is a very specific sweet with a very specific sour. But if those are the
I don't
things
want to
that
talk
you
about
like,
it on it anymore, to be honest with you, Kit. That's we need to get past that because that's upsetting me.
Exactly. But the thing is I'm like, okay, great. I love that. You love that. The compersion there of me understanding that this is something that you legitimately enjoy for yourself. I'm going to say, go friend.
Mm-hmm.
And the love that you love that.
The idea of compersion, like that's a concept that I think at one point on my live stream, when I was live streaming on a campsite, was like the polyamory word of the day, and like compersion, and all this kind of thing, and like defining it for the guys, just ad-libbing. It's improv in various states of clothing, and yeah.
That's cool. I feel like the first thing I'm like thinking about, and maybe let us know if it's a cross the line question, but I'm curious: is there people that like you? Have you mostly only met strangers through this, or has there ever been a moment where someone's come across your site that you're like, oh, I know you, or oh, I know you, and we're gonna put a boundary up. Like, I'm curious about both of those.
Yeah. For the most part, I don't think that there's been anybody. There was one client that I had recently.
This podcast is hosted by me, Kit Sargent, co-hosted and produced by Jess Grace Garcia of Springwood Productions, and the theme music is by Brian Smith of Holy Holy Music Productions. If you could do us a huge favor and please like, follow, comment, share, do all of the things on all of the socials. You can follow the podcast on Instagram @_queer.consciousness for all the latest episodes, as well as any other exciting news. When you're listening on Spotify, please leave a 5-star rating and use the comment box for anything you'd like us to talk about. When you're listening to Apple Podcasts, please leave a comment and a 5-star rating. If you'd like to be on the podcast, send a message to queerconsciousnesspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the podcast, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/queerconsciousnesspodcast. We are trying to grow as organically as possible, and this helps other like-minded people who want to empower and encourage others on their journey. So until next time, remember to stand in your truth and know that you are worthy, just as you are. Hey friend, just wanted to take a quick second to remind you that if you or someone you know is struggling and don't know where to turn, the trained volunteers at the LGBT National Hotline are here to help. Because sometimes the strongest thing to do is to ask for help. The National Hotline phone number is 888-843-4564. And if you want to check out the other things that they have available for them to help you with, you can check out the lgbthotline.org in order to be able to see all of the services that they offer in order to help our community.